Italian, so
it was not more, it was altro.
Yes, now we got it. So everybody was trying to decrypt the Italian language. Now this is recorded again. Thanks for this. Severin, he left already? No, you are there, yes. Thanks for making this point. Again, I keep insisting, we want this all in strict coordination with both the Romanian authorities and with the Italian authorities in Rome, not to be very operational, very concrete. And maybe we can also have a series of meetings, maybe not with everybody in each occasion, but let's now identify very concrete situations that can be solved, maybe also small details. So thanks, Severin, for doing this. This is the spirit. If we have to connect somehow also to the sport integrity program, the project that you have been, we will do that. Any kind of, we have been also managing, as you know, in one of those you were involved, 4 European projects. So we are in the last year. So we have relevant documentation, relevant instruments that have not been used. Also because of the pandemic, because the pandemic is really very critical, no, Massimiliano? So we were doing things, then everything, at the end we couldn't really fully utilize them. I will keep continuing, in the list of short self-presentations and maybe with some comments. Given that you are on holiday, Pablo, we met in The Hague a few days ago. Pablo, if you want to simply make a statement and encourage all of us, that Europol, as we know, let's say, is paying as much as possible attention to the topic, and being ready, to contribute to this very concrete approach. Pablo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Paolo. Thanks a lot, and good morning to everyone. First of all, I want to wish you very good luck with this seminar. Of course, thanks to the Romanian and Italian authorities for organizing these kind of events that I consider that are very, very important in order to fight against this crime. From my side, I just only want to leave a message. What is Europol doing on this regard? Because I represent Europol and the head of office of the analysis project corruption. This is a dedicated project to combat not only sports corruption, but this is the inception. It was the origin of the project and what makes sense. The project started in 2014 due to the problems that were in the landscape around the world of sports. And this is now 11 years when the project started, and now grew a lot because there are 33 countries that are part of this project, together with Eurojust and other organizations, Interpol also, and third parties. What we do is to support ongoing investigations from law enforcement, and this is our main role, to provide analytical support, but also operational support. And this is what we want to do, and we will do in the future also. But not only from this operation side, but also we have very good communication with other stakeholders and partners, like, for example, UEFA, that Massimiliano is there. It's very nice to see familiar faces, Severin, that mentioned. This is, at the end, this is a very close family that are putting all efforts together. And I think that this is what makes sense if we want to combat this problem. So it's true that Europol is not playing a role in the prevention side, but it is in the countering side, and this is the name of the seminar, prevention and countering. And I want to leave this message that we will be fighting and supporting law enforcement in this regard, and always will extend our hand to support all initiatives like this one that you have today. Thank you very much, Paolo, again, and I will be always available to support this and other initiatives. Good luck with the seminar. Thanks a lot.
Pablo, maybe Manuela Popescu can say just 1 second and 1 minute of comments after your intervention.
Thank you so much, Pablo, for connecting with us. I understand that you are in the holidays, so we appreciate a lot. You can count on DGA. We are partners in different other projects, CIPOL or organizing by UNODC. So you can count on us in future cooperation. Thank you so much.
This said, Manuela, we recall again that the meeting was introduced by the Embassy of Italy.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Interior of Italy is fully on board. They already organized together with our institute a very important seminar 1 year ago with law enforcement agencies attending from different countries of the world. That between Romania and Italy, there is a strategic partnership which includes also these topics at high level, prime ministers. And so it is in this environment, then in the next months we will using and leveraging this project and other related activities in order to contribute to further advance in this environment. But of course, it is a bilateral relation that will include as much as possible other countries, other interlocutors, as we have already indicated, Spain, Belgium. We have also connected Greece, of course. Georgi is connected from Brussels, I presume. Georgi, if you are there, you can say just a couple of words. He is the liaison officer for Ministry of Sport of Bulgaria. And he is also helping and contributing to liaise with the law enforcement agencies in Bulgaria. Georgi, can you do that or not really? Let's see, possibly not yet because he was connecting and disconnecting. If not, we will revert to you later. Salomeia, can you make it from Vilnius? Yeah, you have been attending many meetings. You are there. You are there. You are.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning. I am. My name is Salome Zaksaite. have been attending many meetings. Maybe not so much, not so many recently, but basically I have been doing this topic for many years. I was and I am a chess player turned to sports law, and I am working at the International Chess Federation as an integrity officer or as a prosecutor. So basically, the shift and the focus have turned to somewhat more nuanced topics, because I could say that 10 years ago or something like that, the very phenomenon was new, as the former speakers mentioned. It was kind of Wonderland, yeah, and we were Alice in Wonderland, and now it's a normal market. So yeah, I really like this metaphor. And yeah, actually now we do something more or less that is normal. That is not so. We don't have to prove that what we are doing, what we are prosecuted, it is needed to prosecute. For example, it was not imaginable like 5 years ago or even 3 years ago to prosecute for sandbagging, because the very concept of sandbagging was too innovative, and now it is normal. And yeah, I am speaking about World Chess Federation. And what to mention about Lithuania? It is also a little bit better, in a sense that Lithuanian politicians at last managed to change the concept of match fixing, in a sense that now not only professional sports can be prosecuted. So yeah, we have a change in our criminal code, and now not only professional athletes can be prosecuted for match fixing, but also any other athlete. And this change was introduced only in 2025, so it's just 3 months or something like that. Of course, practice is very vague. There is almost no cases, but still the theoretical, the formal ground is better, and yeah, it is some kind of encouraging news. Yeah. So more or less all from me. I am really grateful to hear from so many distinct speakers, and I wish you a good seminar. And yeah, we will keep in touch in some or another way in Wonderland. Yeah.
Thanks, Salomeia. We know each other since many years, and as said, I recall that the pandemic and many other elements have made it a bit complicated to move into operations, into full application. Some other colleagues, Severin with a couple of projects, and some others have already made some steps in that direction. But still, of course, much is needed to transform all this in the next 4 years. Now we have chosen 4 because it is an Olympic period cycle. So into something that becomes more physiological, more natural, more, let's say, a day-by-day activity. So again, the speed, the scope of using also this project, which has a specific focus that we will also address, transfer of athletes, but it is clearly connected in the essence of the proposal to be connected to any other crime related specifically to criminal groups operating within sports and outside sport using sports. So we are interpreting coherently with the project this topic not from one specific crime, but in the interaction among different typologies of criminal activities. Elizabeth, can you make it from Bergamo, I presume? Are you connected, Elizabeth?
I am indeed. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course. You are in Greece or you are in Bergamo?
I am in Bergamo now. But yes, I am originally Greek. Thank you very much for the invitation to begin with. Very nice to meet you all, even online.
Elizabeth, allow me just to introduce simply that you have been developing the concept and elaborating the report on corruption in sport for the European Commission a few years ago, so that you apart from being an expert on the topic, you have also, let's say, a sort of relevant legitimacy as the main author of that report. So thanks for making it and for being with us. We can also share with our colleagues that you have already know the spirit to contribute to the future activities of this working group. Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Paolo. So yes, I was a practitioner. I was working in the sport industry, and that was my 20 years ago. That was my first encounter, if you want, with criminal, fraudulent incidents in sport. So when I became an academic some years later, that was one of the areas that I wanted to do more research on. So when I was invited by the European Commission to conduct that study, I was given, if you want, the carte blanche to talk about corruption that goes beyond doping and match fixing, because of course we have doping and match fixing. But thank you for mentioning the report, Paolo, because I believe that it was one of the first instances in which we actually listed the different forms of corruption, the different crimes and fraudulent incidents we see in sport. And I remember speaking to the different member states and asking them to pay attention to those acts as well. Now, we are a few years down the line since then, and I don't know how much attention we're paying there, but it is always welcoming, and I will always accept any invitation to be involved in such groups, because there's always space for improvement. We are all interested in protecting, safeguarding our sport, but unfortunately, we are reacting to people that are acting faster than we are. So I am very happy to see this discussion happening. I'm very happy to contribute in any way you see fit. I think that there is a lot of interest from within the industry and within academia. So it's useful to figure out the best way to make that connection so that we are useful to you, and equally you can also assist us in identifying where we could contribute more. So I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but it is always great to see such efforts.
Elizabeth, as a former athlete, and our friend in Helsinki yesterday or a couple of days ago was just telling me, well, keep insisting. So you can count on the fact that not only me, but some very motivated colleagues, we are still in contact, we are here to succeed. So we will keep working and advancing. And Elizabeth, we are completely confident that your contribution will not be marginal. So, and we also will find additional ways to support financially what we are doing. Still, the money is more the consequence of good things than not the premise. So the more we advance and create concrete results, the easiest will be to convince different entities, public and private, to support the work that we are doing. We know that from Athens, Christina has other commitments. The role of Olympiacos within the project and within the topic is potentially very relevant. Christina, if you can make it and state, your presence, your commitment.
Yes, I am here.
Also, Christina, the floor is yours. You are also you also play a very relevant role in MCA, very relevant one. So you are, of course, officially representing your club, but at the same time, you also play a key role in MCA, and potentially, if the case, when appropriate, we might also consider in the next months, to start interacting with some of the clubs that are, in that environment. Christina, thanks for making it. We know that you tried to be here in person. This was at the end not possible. Don't worry about that. This is only the first of a long series of meetings, and I'm sure that we will be hosting one of them in Athens, of course, in the next months. Christina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, yes, I tried to be in Bucharest. I wanted to always technology help us to meet each other, but the old-fashioned way is always a good way to collaborate, and especially for this crucial topic that we are talking today. So yes, I'm taking advantage that you already announced to the audience that also I'm representing MCA, not in this meeting, because in this meeting I'm representing Olympiacos, but from the side of European Multisport Club Association, I'm the president. Basically, we have also a memorandum of understanding with Massimiliano and the organization regarding tackling all this, terrorist and violence in sports infrastructure, and how the organization of MCA can help and contribute to this topic with the organization of Massimiliano. From the side of Olympiacos and representing also Greece, but also I saw that in our panel today we have also from Thessaloniki and Argyro, who is also Greek, but he's not established now in Greece. This is a very crucial topic. We faced several issues. I don't know if you heard the last few months in news. We have, unfortunately, violence in sports infrastructure are getting a big problem that all sports clubs has to face and has to come with a common with a common willing to solve this problem. The problem in Greece is starting maybe not in sports. It starts in schools, it starts in families, it starts between family and schools. I make a parenthesis because this Monday, 5 ministries here in Greece, exactly the same topic we are talking about, made a common interview regarding exactly this topic. So for Olympiacos, but not only the amateur club of Olympiacos, and I just want to explain to you that what I represent now is the amateur club, and the amateur club has volleyball, water polo, fencing, track and field, handball, etc. We don't have football and basketball because football and basketball are anonymous association. But the problem, what we talk here, I can barely say that the problem is coming back to the amateur club more than the football. Why? Because in football and in basketball, it's more difficult people to interact and because of police, because of the measurements, because of publicity. So all these phenomena are more difficult, or more, let's say, it will be happen once per year, or maybe once per 2 years. But in handball, in water polo, it's more easy. It's more easy because we don't have such a publicity. But at the same time, the brands and the clubs are the same. So for Olympiacos, it's a necessity to, at the end of this project, to have something like a bylaws, if is it possible, as possible to follow, guidelines as possible to follow, and hopefully contribute to this guide, to this handbook, and at least to go one step forward.
Thanks, Christina, for making it. As we were saying at the very beginning, the scope is very operational, very concrete in terms of activities, and within the framework of the funded project and in connection with other related initiatives, we have precisely to pilot and test 2, 3, 4, 1, so we can have ideas in the next months in specific sport clubs, so that then things can be, if the case, adjusted or replicated. So Olympiacos will play this role. We have the club, the sport club here in Bucharest, and we will be in the position also to add a couple of others, we'll see, within the MCA or in other environments, in order that we can have a limited number, but at the same time, not so few, in order that to have also some comparative situations. We will see about that. For instance, for the moment, we haven't involved any sport club in Italy, but as you can imagine, we can pick up the phone and involve any from Inter is now, they are now, it's nobody can understand how they could make it to go into the final, but not necessarily this one. It can be some other relevant club, maybe Palermo, for instance, Palermo in Sicily, which is not a top club, but they are very good friends and they are operating in a very critical environment. So this might be of some interest. No, we have to think about that in the next weeks and months. I recall that we have already some additional co-funding, so we can work in a 4 years perspective, and that we have all the capacity to advocate for additional funding at different levels, European, national, and local level. I see that Oscar could make it. Fantastic. The Spanish police is one of the encouraging law enforcement environments that have been doing things. Oscar, if you want to say a couple of words, we know that you have other commitments, that it was not a priority for the moment in this day. So we really appreciate that you could do that. Pablo already said a few words beforehand. Oscar, the floor is yours for sharing some views.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. First at all, I'm going to introduce me. I'm the head of a specialized group in the Spanish National Police. My group only work match fixing, and we have developed several operations in these years against match fixing, Mursal operation with Europol, for example, and others. And it's very interesting to be here to learn more and to have a perspective more complete about this phenomenon in our country. I think the criminal organizations is a phenomenon transnational. It's not only in Spain, it's very important. And in the police, it's very important to be specialized with knowledge to combat this phenomenon. And thank you very much for inviting me to participate.
Gracias, Oscar, por estar con nosotros. Un placer personal poderte conocer. As said, this is just a kickoff meeting on one side, but on the other side, it is just the last of meeting of a series of 10, 15 years of activities and actions and different situations. So we are very confident that we can, in the next months, contribute to have a more operational environment where law enforcement and sport bodies can find even more advanced cooperation frameworks on this. I recall that the project, the European project, has been specifically funded to be a bit to address also transfer of athletes as a topic, related, also connected to all the other crimes. Still, this is a typology of crime that for the moment has not been very well addressed. So we will in the next weeks also start sharing documentation on this, so that we can see. We will also conduct a data collection on this specific topic, and so this is also somehow encouraging because it's something that for the moment has not been included significantly in the operational agenda. They are not present here, but this is one of the, say, strengths of the initiative. The Italian system as such, even if, as Lieutenant Colonel Marco Pini, connected from Rome, can confirm, ideally, 10 years ago, for curious reasons, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, Italy was pretty well advanced in operations with the units within but for different reasons, now we are stronger in the international environment, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and related activities, while in operations, the units at Ministry of Interiors are still there, but for the moment are not acting not as well as we would like them not to operate. Marco, you want to say a few words now from Rome?
Yes, well, the most important thing is saying that effectively we have a legislative framework, but it must be applied in the best possible way. And the first thing is to enhance international cooperation, also among different institutions. So I think that we can proceed on this direction. And first of all, enhance international cooperation.
Thanks, Marco. I was just highlighting Oscar and also Pablo, that things are always somehow complicated in the sense that there is a strategically huge attention to the topic at Ministry of Interior in Italy, but operationally, for some reasons, no, we have to, in the next months, reactivate situations that were somehow pretty advanced in 2010 and 11, 12, 13, and then for internal reasons that I will not go through now, no, they are no longer as active as they were. So the strategic tension is very high. The capacity, the political institutional capacity to support and accompany all this at Ministry of Foreign Affairs and at Ministry for Sport is very high. But the situation in Spain possibly is for the moment a bit more concrete in terms of activities, and maybe the relation with Spain, with Romania, of course, with Italy in the next weeks and months can be an environment that can help to advance on all these topics. So your presence, Oscar, is really important for us because you have been working concretely as our colleagues in Belgium. I didn't even inform Christine and the others because we didn't want to have a first meeting with too many people involved. But in the next days, we will be contacting Christine Castells and other colleagues in Brussels on all this. This said, Oscar, I would move. Let's see if Georgi, because Bulgaria also is very attentive on this. Maybe Georgi, are you now present? Because you must be in a total mess in Brussels. I know how the situation is this. No, Georgi cannot make it yet. Vasilis. Georgi, no, you are there. So you are somewhere. So you appear. No, so you exist. You are not a robot. Georgi, you can take the floor and say a few words about all this topic. We met years ago, you may remember, much time ago, precisely on match fixing, on integrity. So this is now the environment where we originally met, and we know that interiors of Bulgaria is very concerned about all these topics, that the Ministry for Sport also considers them. Georgi, the floor is yours.
Good morning to all, and happy Europe's Day. It's a nice being with you. Thank you for inviting. Yes, I'm joining from Brussels. Unfortunately, my colleagues from Sofia couldn't make it because today they have a joint meeting with the European Commission in Bulgaria. They are promoting sport. Of course, in the Ministry for the Sport, we are promoting clean sport, and we work closely with the Bulgarian police in order to tackle match fixing mostly. But I'm deeply interested of the topic, and I will be following you and your project in the next months, years. Of course, we've been involved in many activities together with some familiar faces that are here. We worked on different projects, but also at national level, and we try to motivate the Bulgarian police to start working internationally. And I'd like to back the Lieutenant Pini from the Italian police that I think it's crucial that we need to combine our forces and do more international cooperation in terms of tackling mainly match fixing for now for us, but definitely the influx of money brings a lot of corruption, and sports needs the law enforcement power because cannot do it alone. Thank you, Paolo.
Thanks, Georgi. Each of you, including you, had to, let's say, manage their own agendas, their scheduling, their priorities, their commitments, and also thanks to inform the colleague that even if he couldn't make it, in the next day we will be sharing the proceedings, the documentation, and this will significantly help to give a good rhythm to our activities. Before giving the floor to Ljubljana, Kole, are you connected? Can you make it? Kole from Brussels. There you are. There you are, Kole. What a pleasure. Unfortunately for you, you are also an expert on this. This means that your age is no longer when we first met. You have been also studying the topic in Italy as well. You have been addressing all this at the University of Brussels. You have been working for so many years on that. Very possibly, as Erika, connected from Lausanne, Kole will be part of the team, accompanying more strictly the activities. If you wanted to self-introduce yourself and share a couple of words about what we are doing and what we are planning. Kole, the floor is yours.
Bonjour, Madame Popescu. Bonjour, Paolo. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Kole Jalos. I am, as an academic, I've been working on the topic for the last 20 years. My approach is starting from the definition of organized crime, how organized crime actors are interested and how do they get in sport. So I published from 2005 and 2006 a couple of articles in French language. And I keep working on organized crime in Balkanic countries and related to sport. As a professional, I worked a long time for the International University Sport Federation, then for the International School Sport Federation, being the chair of the consultative committee of EPAS in the Council of Europe in Strasbourg. As Mrs. Manoli said, Paolo, we stand by you to better understand where we fit best as a profile of persons. And also, as has been said by Mrs. Manoli, my interest really goes on everything almost but match fixing, although I know a little bit about it, but it's really the process on how and why the criminal actors has always almost in the history been connected to sport. And that's why I'm teaching, that's what I'm teaching as well. So happy to be part of it. Paolo, thank you for giving me the floor. I think that we have a lot of job to do, and as has been said, not maybe only in football, and the threat goes always to the weakest one. This is one of the definition of the mafia. So we have to look broader. So thank you very much, and happy to be part of the initiative. See you soon.
Thanks, Kole. Again, I want to highlight that the motivation, the determination of our friends and colleagues here in Bucharest is very high. And it's not only because this small project has been funded, because the funding of the project is the consequence of the motivation. Is not the other way around. Severin, I see that you have to leave, but it was fantastic that you could be with us. So many greetings to Vienna. Hopefully we will have a Wiener Schnitzel the soonest over there. And Severin, we know well that we can count on you, and the other way around. Let me, before you leave, recall that as a matter of fact, everybody connected to this meeting is connected as a professional. I know that I also talk for Marco Pini in Rome and for our colleagues from the law enforcement agencies, but also as citizens with a personal motivation, with a personal determination to do things on this topic. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here under such conditions. So this is a good advantage of experience, as you were saying. So let's resume Severin in the next hours, days, weeks. Still, again, we also love to follow. We don't need to be always leaders. So each of you can be, in the next weeks and months, also taking some sort of leadership, making proposals. We are only happy to support and to help. So let's also start sharing this spirit of co-leadership of the process. Whenever it is needed, we can lead. Whenever it is needed, we can follow. And support. And in the world of sport, this is normal. Each athlete, sometimes leads, sometimes helps, even in the training. So Severin, we know that you are one of the leading, let's say, experienced organizations, but possibly one of the 2 or 3. So if you have any kind of sense that something should be done or addressed, even with additional funding, let's discuss this, the soonest, in the next days and weeks. Thanks, Severin, and have a nice day and a good assembly.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, colleagues. All the best. Thank you. Have a fruitful meeting.
This said, again, before going to Ljubljana, I was forgetting Thessaloniki, Vasilis. Again, the same for you if you are connected. Vasilis from Thessaloniki, if you can make it, so that the colleague can see you. Maybe you cannot, because I know he told me that he was going up and in and out. No, you can do that possibly. Vasilis Barkoukis? No, he left. You are raising the hand, Vasilis. You can make it if you want. I didn't see the hand. Now there is a hand there. It looks like a phantom. It's not clear if it is a real hand or a phantom. Nothing wrong. We can wait for later. Ljubljana, I don't know if who wants, both of course can take the stage. Who wants to take the stage from Ljubljana? Because we don't, maybe it's only...
We can both share the stage.
We can share.
We'll share the stage. So
let's start from former representative. So Sandra, if you don't get, let's say, depressed, let's leave you for the second, so that then you can also
absolutely
talk as a professional at university. So Ljubljana, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Katarina. I work at Women's Football Club Radomlje. We're very happy to participate here. We are a smaller club than others that participate. However, we're very proud of our youth development. So being here and developing our youth players in the spirit of fair play, in the spirit of clean sport is very important to us. So we're very grateful for the invite and very happy to participate.
Thanks. This was important also for the colleagues to sense and to see. As said, we have different levels, very important clubs, but we also have to address the grassroots dimension. And your friend Sandra Damian can now take the floor and say a few words about specifically. I would say Paolo Basari cannot make it. She wrote me from Geneva that she had some family problems this morning. The daughter, nothing serious, but there are some criticalities this morning. Paolo Basari will be another key ally of this process, possibly one of the 3 or 4 most important, 5. I know Massimiliano will then now rank this more relevant profiles. Paolo is fully on board on what we are doing, and we have in mind that compliance as a concept and compliance as a technical dimension might be a significant part of the solution. We will not go through it right now, but you have an important background on this in the private sector. Sandra, if you want to say a few words on that related to sport, given that it is an environment that you also know very well as a former athlete and a current officer. Please, Sandra, the floor is yours from Ljubljana.
Thank you, Paolo. Let me just a little bit reflect on Katarina. Katarina was too humble in saying that, you know, Women's Football Club Radomlje is one of the actually the strongest clubs when it comes to women's clubs, and also the pool of the young players, and always gets the award for the fair play and integrity. So I was very happy to briefly join as president also of the Women's Football Club, but now it's also in a very good hands of the president Daria, and she actually extends greetings to all of you, and of course welcome to Radomlje, which is very close to Ljubljana. So this is what I wanted to reflect, and the Women's Football Club Radomlje is from the First Division League, and hopefully they will soon be the champions, national champions. A very good match against the current national champions. So there's just reflection on this. I wanted to discuss a little bit and reflect on what everyone was saying in the capacity, in my professional capacity. I was actually for many years also working in Anti-Corruption Commission of Slovenia and representing also Slovenia in Greco and UNODC. Actually for UNCAC, but I do quite a lot now in the private sector, investigate different fraudulent activities, and sports industry is one of those, and training the prosecutors. So it was one interaction that was said, you know, sports unites everybody. This is true, unites all nice people, but it also unites criminals, because this is one of the fastest growing businesses. It's now valued at around 600 billion globally. So if I only reflect on the things, and this is very much connected to the compliance that I want to get to the second point, I will not be very long, so 5 minutes. But one of the typologies that you highlighted, you know, the transfer of athletes, I've seen this in practice quite a lot nowadays. And we try to teach, to actually train the prosecutors. There's a lack actually of understanding of the financials, and this is one of quite big problems. But we've seen, you know, there are examples where actually the transfer of athletes has been used for human trafficking. We have this, there was investigations in Belgium and France, despite of the existing transfer matching system of FIFA. But then we also have the money laundering, and I believe Oscar knows about these cases. You know, in Spain, there was actually money laundering being done, and you know, through second division clubs as well, and then inflating transfer fees and disguising illegal proceeds, you know, as legitimate investments. So we've seen this in the region as well, and what this leads me to, from a risk perspective and the compliance, they're not very addressed heavily, because this is absolutely multi-jurisdictional threats, and the risk are not very well addressed, that these blind spots, you know, the like financial transactions, but then the third party ownership, and also the lack of cross-border oversight. So I would say that, and unfortunately there are law enforcement, but I would say that most of our actions against this kind of criminal activities is reactive investigation, and not focusing very much on the proactive or the prevention. And by the time the law enforcement reacts, I mean, it's some time passes. I mean, depends, you know, but I could say for at least our law enforcement, the time passes. The average globally is around 2 years, and by then the money is gone, and there's close to zero recovering of assets. So I would strongly suggest that, and this is what we're focusing now on, to increase more risk-based compliance and prevention, and include actually integrate prevention into operations. And we have quite a good example of of Associazione Sportiva Roma, who actually implemented risk-based internal controls that cover actually the player transfers and agents and sponsorships, and this is already yielding results. So I think this is quite good example, you know, embedding due diligence and having more due diligence in athlete recruitment and beneficial ownership, disclosure, and so on. One of the risks that is also arising, and I would like to also get your attention to this one is as well, is the gender dimension and emerging risks. So it's not only the financial risks, but nowadays, as we also have ESG and the social impact and everything, we have, you know, all of you know for sure the post-Nassar, the Nassar case. So this highlights actually there's abuse of power also, but also the failure of the safeguarding mechanism. So I think this is also we need to integrate actually social and ethical risk indicators as well, not just the financial anomalies, because this can escalate, scale up, and become much bigger. Let's say they're vulnerable then groups that can then lead to other criminal activities. And the last point that I would like to emphasize is the role of research and innovation. I mean, there's negative and positive sides of technology. Technology, of course, allowing the criminals to react faster, but also for us who are detecting this to also be able to catch them. So data and the tools are very powerful if you know how to use it. And if I also, again, focus on the transfer of players, I think blockchain and the pilot initiatives that are using this, the blockchain player-based ID and transfer systems, they're actually a good direction. And I think that we should connect with all law enforcement, the sports organizations, the academics, and with tech innovators to develop early warning systems, you know, to red flag indicators, so have the proactive compliance, because this, I'm not saying that it will prevent criminal activities, but it will shorten the time to be able to catch this and stop these schemes going on and possibly not to lose that money. So this is what I wanted to actually highlight, and I'm very happy to be part of this group and to contribute. And to welcome you also when you decide to come to Slovenia.
Thanks, Sandra. For sure, we will have at least one moment in Ljubljana. We'll see now. We will be planning. We will be possibly also interacting with the project officer in Brussels in the next days, having some exchange with the project office in order to better understand how to manage some activities in the project. We'll see. But again, I have now the age and the background to say that we care about a specific project, but that we are focused on the results, on the effects, on utilizing this opportunity in order to pursue what it is needed. So, and we have also the political and institutional strong support to do that. So any additional idea, any nuance, any point of view that you might consider from your perspective and your observatory, that might be useful to be included in the policy recommendations and in the implementation activities, this will be more than welcomed. And so let's be very practical and not bureaucratic and administrative, because this will be done for sure. We have already a very successful track record in managing European projects, but we need also to leave a legacy in the next for the next years. Let's see if for some reasons Vasilis can do that from Thessaloniki. Maybe the hand is no longer there.
Hello.
So maybe the phantom. Hello, Vasilis.
Hello,
again, we see you. Yes, we hear you.
Okay.
We also see you now.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's an amazing event, and I'm really happy to be part of it. I've seen a lot of people I know and work with, and it's really a pleasure to be here. For those who doesn't know me, I'm a professor at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. and I'm working the past 15, 20 years on corruption in sport. Mostly I'm working on doping, and we have run several European projects and several publications on doping. Furthermore, I've been working on match fixing and whistleblowing, so we try to cover all aspects of corruption in sports. Lately, I have been appointed as a member of the municipality committee on violence in sports, and my last endeavor is to work on esports. We have completed one project on esports and run another one. So we try to cover corruption in sports on all these topics. My perspective is mostly academic, so I'm mostly interested in understanding the reasons, the why of why people involved in corruption in sport. And what I have seen so far is that although we have made a lot of progress in understanding the determinants of sports corruption, this has not been translated into policy actions. And I think that this is a very important aspect of this project and this meeting that brings together people from diverse and different perspectives that we all need to contribute in order to fight corruption. It is not just academics like me or Elizabeth. It's not just police. We all have to work together in order to fight these complex issues. And from our perspective, we can contribute to policy with information about the reasons of how people engage in corrupted behaviors and the implementation of interventions that we have developed. So we are here to help sports organizations, sport clubs, sport authorities that want to fight corruption and contribute in their efforts.
Thanks, Vasilis. For those who already know you, it's useless, but for those who don't know you, again, you have the problem that you are very experienced and that you are very motivated, and so the contribution that you can give to the project and to the activities, also through additional funding. We can have some talks in Greece with some other colleagues, we see, in order just to level on what we are doing, and generate a virtuous process in the next months. This said, Vasilis, we know each other since many years. The academic, as also Sandra was saying, but also Europol, that he had to leave Pablo, he was writing us. Understanding the topics is important. So let's see, maybe academic sounds a bit abstract, and vague, but understanding, analysis, data collection, all these elements are crucial. Also to convince our interlocutors sometimes, because the interlocutors can be convinced, on database. Let's move now to our colleagues here. Specifically, we have the Dynamo Bucharest here. They might become, and we are very motivated on that direction, let's say somehow a potential, if not the total model, but a very important place where to experiment and pilot things. First of all, because, as said, there is this strategic partnership Italy-Romania. Secondly, because you are strictly connected to the environment, so we know that we can count on your motivation. And then, of course, also because symbolically, an important European club, can be, somehow inspiring other ones. So we feel and we sense, we knew it from the very beginning, when we submitted originally the project proposal, that your environment might be, one potential ideal place to where to test it. And then we can also, you are here somehow also on personal basis. You are not officially, Joanna, from the anti-doping agency, representing the anti-doping agency, but still, as said, we have one specific topic, which is transfer of athletes. a wider environment, which is criminal groups operating in the sports sector, including money laundering, match fixing, and other related crimes. But as a wider environment, doping is, let's say, very important because it was the original misbehavior in the world of sport. So we are sure that culturally, and also maybe from some specific activities, we will not go through this now, you might be very important in this activity in the next months. The floor is for Dinamo Bucharest now.
So thank you all. Hi to all of you that you are not here. I'm sorry that, but I can see you, and I was very interested in every speech of yours, and I will be here anytime you will need us. And I will start to be precisely and to say that this is a great honor for us to be here. This conference means to be vital because that should start for future collaborations that will truly bring real benefits to all parts involved, not only talking, especially we have to take care for new generations. We have to be the models, to provide models for that. What I meant that the Dinamo is the biggest club in Romania, and I think we are. I really checked 20 minutes before in Wikipedia, just to make sure. And one of the proofs that we are one of the biggest club is my colleague right behind me, that near me, that and earlier she said, I'm just a medalist in the Olympic Games. That means that a bronze medal for us is just a medalist. So our goal is just gold and not bronze. But I know what a bronze medal means in Olympic Games, so congratulations anyway.
Let's make an applause. Let's make an applause to our colleague.
I want also to highlight and underline that we have in our club first 5 in top 10 rowing in worldwide. So I think you know already about Elisabeta Lipa, but I don't want to talk only about that. Sport is not only a competition. Our club, since we are working under our superior echelon is the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we are also police officers, most of us. So integrity is not negotiable. So this is the state of our working process and behavior and whatever. So you can count on us, me specifically.
We sense it.
So you can feel it. I knew that. And in the future, I think we will have great collaboration and do a great job. And also with the other colleagues in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, I know that we have, we want to do that. And I felt it that in the maybe more than 5 years, we are struggling against that, against any criminal activities. And sometimes we have to be a little bit patient, but sometimes I think that we will prove that we are doing our job. I'm sure about that. Thank you.
I would suggest, if you agree, also to encourage to say a few words, to the athletes, in order to the sense that she has been matured, you have been competing, training, because many forget that mainly athletes train. Yeah. Competition is somehow an important, crucial component, but your life is training. Every day you train and you spend. And my personal background as an athlete is that, of course, what it happens day by day, every day in those environments, officers, managers, trainers, coaches, volunteers, the environment is crucial to prevent, accompany, to create that specific situation where misbehaviors and even less crimes for any reasons can be significantly prevented. So what you feel to say about these topics that possibly you are addressing, I wouldn't say for the first time, but possibly it's something new,
Yes,
for you.
it is. I have very much emotion, and I want that my colleague.
She's very shy. I know that, but she also, because he's not a native speaker, and she's a professional in everything. And this is, what Olympic champions are. The way
she's translating.
You can speak in Romanian and she translates.
Yes, okay.
Speak in Romanian and she translates.
Am făcut 17 ani sport de performanță.
She's doing rowing for 17 years.
De curând m-am reîntors în activitatea sportivă.
She retires lately because she will be a mom in a few months. This is a good reason.
Vă foarte mult să fiu aici alături de dumneavoastră.
She's very glad to be here.
Și să asist aceste discuții.
And to assist in this.
Și ca sportiv nu am avut de unde să știu că foarte multă lume, atât de mulți oameni importanți stau în spatele acestor acțiuni.
During her activity, usually they don't realize the background of all the person involved. And for them, it is a shock to hear about criminal activity in sport because they don't do that, they don't think about.
Și totodată mă bucur că există atât de mulți oameni importanți care vor să caute o soluție și să rezolve toate lucrurile astea.
And they are very glad to hear that there are people, important people involved, and who want to try to find solutions and solve the problems.
Well, thank you for the contribution. Again, the essence of sport is not necessarily only athletes, because coaches, trainers, sport is an ecosystem of amazing people. And I want just to highlight, given that we also represent the law enforcement. Marco Pino couldn't stay longer, but these state authorities, I really want to know that you sense the love for sport. Marco, fantastic that you are still there. The love for sport, the awareness that sport is an amazing environment, and that the determination to work on this is precisely because sport is fantastic, and precisely because sport has evolved to become possibly in the last 30 years the most important social activity in the world. And this poses, threatens, challenges that the world of sport itself has to address, and that the state authorities have to recognize, so that in a few years we can now meet again and now look at things as positively as we are looking at the soft law, international environment that has advanced so much in the last decade. We also sense that the Dynamo Bucharest might be one of the most important possible examples, precisely because this was one of the original reasons to involve also the anti-corruption agency, the relation that there was with the your sport club. And it is in the spirit of the project, of the activity, to significantly lever on Bucharest as let's say, a potential symbolic place where all this is addressed significantly. And you can count on the Italian spirit of being very happy to go everywhere, to be nationalist when needed, but to be very European in the spirit and peer-to-peer, in the way that we work, and the presence and the event at the ambassador's residency was clearly. We also have an important Romanian entrepreneur investing in Italy and in Italian sport. But maybe we will have some talks with him. Maybe this might become also for the Genoa Sport Club, football club might be the one where for some reasons we can start replicating there some pilot initiatives. What do you think about that?
It's great to have so many people that express their total commitment within this project. It is something that we we're counting on. And I'm very happy to see not even the practitioners within the law enforcement or the International Olympic Committee or the national or international federations, the sports club, and also the civil society, because we have had our speaker from Vienna, the academia. Their role is huge within this project. So we count on their support, on their contributions. And at the end, I would like to highlight or echo what Mrs. Sandra Damian has said about being more proactive, and because being reactive is not enough. Even we are speaking about prevention, or on being proactive in the prevention area, and also I like this idea to be more proactive in countering or deterring any unlawful. And I'm not referring only on corruption, because it's not the issue, a key issue to discuss only about corruption. We can look at all of it, and sometimes we can avoid corruption if we are starting from the beginning of this unlawful chain. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Manuela. I wanted just to ask Massimiliano, you again, also for you, you are very experienced on this. What you feel to share, what you have been sensing, on your long-standing and so outstanding also experience on this topic, about this environment, maybe also some criticality. We are open, but maybe I'm confident that you see some potential for the work that you are doing in UEFA. Massimiliano, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I mean, generally speaking, the fact that there is a table open for discussion is always a positive. So we can see what are the critical points or protocols or policies that are missing or not working properly. What I would say is that maybe, given the context of this meeting and maybe the project in general, to establish more practical and effective approach. I see from the table that there is a lot of commitment from different angles, from the academia, from other organizations. And I understand that, and I agree that the contribution from these different angles is crucial to get to a good result. This is what always we advocate with our member association within football at European level. We foster always the cooperation with public authorities. We ourselves have a lot of engagement with different stakeholders. And just to make a specific mention or reference to Romania, the fact that the Macaulay Convention could be maybe adopted in the future could be a very useful tool, because we now saw that the countries that adopt the convention has developed at national level a very efficient way of sharing information against all the relevant stakeholders, also across sports. So, in the national platform, there are present also other sports that is not football. So I think that, keeping this in mind, in the meantime, other protocols or policies or structure can be put in place. And I hope that in the next meetings and development of this initiative, we can reach a concrete result. Thank you.
Thanks, Massimiliano, for these words. Please address also our greetings and my personal greeting to Vince. Before leaving, given that the scope of the meeting was mainly establishing this permanent contact group, I would maybe suggest that Mihai say a couple of words, given that Mihai is just our strategic and operational interlocutor, so that you also know him from there, and that this remains in the record. Mihai, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Paolo, and thank you again for inviting us to take part in the project. As you know already, our main focus, and when we discuss about being part of a project which actually aims at increasing integrity in sports, since we are law enforcement, mainly focused on law enforcement corruption as and have been doing that for more than 20 years, then the discussion occurred that indeed within the Ministry of Internal Affairs there is also a sport club. So this actually led to developing and building maybe a relation towards improving integrity in our own sports club, but also to improving our mechanism and sharing our mechanism actually towards other partners, and why not toward the sports organization related to prevention. Because we have been doing and have been actually, I think, successful in implementing specifically prevention measures, developing risk assessments within our law enforcement organizations, and actually Dynamo is also a working prevention working group that deals with identifying risk and addressing risk, specifically on corruption, but allowing in this project also to build and extend the scope of the assessment, not only corruption, but to other integrity risks that may occur in this area. So moving forward, I think we have also to learn, but also to put on the table some practices that have been going to be successful, hoping to reach the goal that we had at the beginning, that we create synergies and we try to build an environment that allows for peer learning, but also to actually provide something, an output that is concrete and that will serve us and sports organization in building integrity. Moving forward, I have also an additional motivation to that, and I would say that I'm looking at my children who have all had different
three of them
that have all been involved in different sports area, and when they started actually doing sports activity, there's no once have been any thought that something black might occur in this area. And our sports athlete said that she had never actually thought about that. The idea was to perform well in the sports and nothing else matters. So I think this is important for them as well, because if they see that only white, of course, in sport, and only this motivate them, that will ensure that as an adult will see and will expect actually that everything will be happening in this mode, even though we know that different other things occur in the all crime areas and not only sports. Unfortunately, sports is also affected by that. We'll think for the future that will provide better mechanism and better opportunities for them as anyway, being or not involved in sports as a whole. So again, thank you for involving us in the project. I'm pretty sure that we create together with you, and our practices will hopefully inspire you and other sport organizations. And anyway, looking forward to cooperate with all of you. And it was nice meeting you.
Thanks, Mihai. For those connected, I just suggest that you don't disconnect immediately, because we will take a picture in a few minutes so that we can also have, let's say, a nice memory for us, and also some documentation to be included in the proceedings of the activities. Sarah Joanna, a couple of words from a very specific perspective, which is the doping one.
Yes, indeed, I'm very privileged to be here today in this hybrid format. I am 2 weeks away from returning from extended medical leave, but the president of my agency strongly encouraged me to join these activities this week, because he believes in everything that relates to what Andrea knows very well from our work at the Council of Europe, the domestic and international coordination in the prevention and fight against doping in sport. It's also a privilege to reflect on what our distinguished athlete and other four speakers have said. From all walks of life, people come together to reflect on what can be done so that the world of sports, and implicitly the fight against doping in sports, tackle every possible risk, any possible threat to the purity of sport, to the ideals that the young generation builds by looking at the poster of an emblematic athlete such as our distinguished participant today, And for that to be done, there is a need of togetherness. There is an implicit sense of togetherness through the already existing regular framework, such as our laws that involve a very strong cooperation with law enforcement, with the academia, with the international bodies involved in the field. And I believe that through what has already been done and what is being considered to be done, also with the involvement of so many experts from Romania, there is a strong guarantee that this will be one of the forums that will have a very concrete outcome to ensure for athletes such as you and the future athletes that you will inspire, for the people who love sports, for the people who practice recreational sports, the safe and marked by integrity environment that we all deserve. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sarah, Joanna, also for making it. We know each other since some time, but you know Andrea since much more than you know me. Just 1 minute, I see that finally fantastic that also Jakub Kaboj from Bratislava could make it. Maybe Jakub can say just a couple of words or not. Jakub, can you hear us from Bratislava? He is the integrity officer of the Slovak Football Federation. Maybe he can do that or not. Jakub, can you make? We see it. You are there. So, well, nothing really wrong. He is another of the long list of friends, colleagues, interlocutors, that we have been creating in more than 10 years of activity. So for sure he will be, Massimiliano, you know him for sure pretty well. Let's, if you agree now, remain that we will be sending to each of you the proceeding and the documentation of the event, sharing the relevant documentation. Marco, we will be meeting in the next days in Rome.
All right, I am ready.
Okay. So, and as a starting point, the cooperation between the law enforcement agencies in Italy and the law enforcement agencies in Romania will be, let's say, the first starting point in the perspective of enlarging it, gradually and properly in the next months. So, if you can please now, each of you activate the video camera. We can take a final picture. We move around the screen. Oscar, sorry that you are also part of this scene. But let's meet also in Madrid. I will be in Madrid very, very soon, possibly beginning of June. I will be keeping you informed about all this. And I personally know many actors over there at the Consejo Superior de Deporte, at the Liga. So let's see how we can use, and please consider this environment, this initiative at your disposal. Any idea, anything that you feel it might be used. So let's give to the activities, as said, a very concrete and pragmatic and applicative dimension. So thanks for activating it. Wait a couple of minutes, we take the picture, and then we allow you to get back to your activities. Salomeia, sooner or later, will be in Vilnius, so please be ready to welcome us. Christina, fantastic that you can activate the video. So let wait a few minutes, then we take the picture. Then we tell you. Thanks.
Let's wait for Marco.
Marco?
Marco? Yeah, he's there.
Yes, where is? I don't see Marco.
Second row.
Marco. Okay.
Yeah.
And from Europol, you're not.
Everybody is now on screen. So you look so nice. You look so nice. All of you all together.
So let's go next to the screen, each side. Please. Bine așa?
Okay. Elizabeth, Christina, I am close to you, so in the picture I will be close to Christina and to Elizabeth.
Intrăm peste
Stai să nu intrăm peste Marco.
Să stăm...
Ultimele persoane nu se văd.
Vino aici, Vali.
The last person, I can see the last person.
Așa. Sau... Nu este peste...
Tot nu e bine. Că e peretele și nu...
May I make a suggestion?
Let's...
Yes.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay? Okay. Probably if we stay like this.
Okay. See?
Let me check.
Not perfect.
Not perfect.
Can I
Yes, of course you must.
Okay. I see myself. Okay. One more. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So
You are entitled to leave. Jakub, if you are there, sorry that you couldn't intervene. Let's resume in the next days bilaterally and through an email. Erika, ci parliamo nei prossimi, già domani dopo. Ciao a tutti, Marco, ci sentiamo.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone.
Ciao Oscar, ciao Sandra.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao Paolo, ciao.
Grazie mille, ciao a tutti.
Ciao Cole.
Ciao.
Ciao ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you very much for being
E voglio parlare
here
con i
today.
fondi.
Voi vorbi românește, Paolo, știi deja despre ce este vorba. Voi invitați
Domani?
să Thank you. You will stay in contact because they will join us for lunch. We have discussions.
If we get the bronze medal in all this, it's perfect for us.
Yeah. Great.
Dacă nu vă supărați, mai facem o poză cu ecranul oprit, ok?
Are you coming to lunch?
We'll take another picture.
Perfect. We take another picture.
Sì.
Solo.
Paolo, ci rimaniamo in